Why did you decide to start driving for Uber?
We wanted some extra cash. Had bills we had to pay, dog that we just got, so needed extra money to afford all the things that we needed in the apartment.
How long did you drive for Uber?
A little over a year.
And why did you stop driving for Uber?
Got a newer car with leather, and quite frankly, the people that I was picking up, they were all drunk college kids. And drunk college kids really don't care about other people's personal property. So to avoid scratches, tears, and other damage done to my brand new car, I decided to stop.
Was the income you were getting from Uber worth the gas and mileage that you were using up?
Yes and no. It was extra cash in the sense that I was already making about $1,000 every 2 weeks from my full-time job, and factor in an additional 600 to 700, sometimes 800 to 900 from Uber. So it would work itself out, and Uber paid me every week. So money-wise, yes, it did make sense for me to drive. But when I went from the LX Accord and I decided to get a 2017 Accord Touring, the mileage didn't make sense. I put 45,000 miles on my car in less than a year, and that included me driving 50 miles to work plus another 100 to 200 miles a night doing Uber. It just didn't make sense wear and tear wise on the car. It was not fun, and the repair bills, oil changes, tire rotations, brake jobs, and brand new tires, they're not cheap. So I decided to just say screw it and give up. Not because I wanted to give up because I was defeated, but give up because I'm not going to destroy another car by driving it all over town.
Okay. Based on that and how you said that you got like a lot of wear and tear in your car in a quick time period, in relation to the amount of money you were also putting out based on gas and such, do you believe that fares that Uber sets for their rides are more beneficial for riders or drivers?
More beneficial?
Like, who gets the better bargain?
In all honesty, the riders and the drivers both make out in terms of who gets the best deal. Because for the drivers, depending on what date you had signed up at, back in 2015, they did a promotion where if you had signed up before October 1st, you would only get 20% of your earnings taken out. And that 20% would go towards Uber's, contribution as, hey, we made the app, we put the connection between you and the person who needed the ride, we made it easy for them to find you and for you to find them. Plus, this covers all of our costs of the people in the offices and the advertising and everything under the sun. After October 1st, anybody who had signed up to become a driver, but as a rider, as somebody who needs a ride, you get the benefit of the doubt as well, because yes, you're going out. Yes, you're trying to get from point A to point B, whether you're going out to drink, whether you don't know the area, whether you just flew in, doesn't matter. It works out for you because you can press a button on your phone sitting at your house or at a restaurant or coming off the plane or train or bus, doesn't matter, and a car shows up. You have the name of the driver, you have the description of his car, you have his license plate number, so you can verify all three things before he even shows up or she shows up to pick you up. And then it's much cheaper than a taxi cab. You're telling me that the riders are trying to contact the drivers, or
The
the drivers?
drivers are trying to contact like people that they've driven, like
Oh,
people
and
they
just
found
say,
attractive.
hey, oh, you're cute, let me go get your number.
Yeah.
It's kind of impossible to do that. I shouldn't say it's impossible, but it's very, very difficult to get the rider's attention. on numerous occasions, I've had people leave their IDs, their credit cards, their purses, their wallets, a cell phone, doesn't matter. I've had many people leave many things in my car. And there's a process through Uber where you have to click a couple buttons on the driver's phone, and it'll put me in contact with Uber's support line. Now, when I get in contact with Uber's support line, and other drivers have told me the same thing, it gives them a generic email address. It does not give me, you know, Joe Smith at Uber.com. It gives me, customer support at Uber. So I email them. It takes 24 hours for Uber to respond back to me to let me know, hey, what should I do next? After that is all said and done, as a driver, I have the option to disclose my personal cell phone number and my name to the rider so that they can get in contact with me at their leisure, or I can say, no, let me remain anonymous, and then let me drop it off at a Uber location. Heard no complaints in terms of people trying to hit on the riders. A lot of the times it's the other way around, where the riders are hitting on the drivers because they're just way too intoxicated, especially during the nighttime runs, like a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. It's where you drive.
From driving Uber in the Baltimore, like Central Maryland area, have you seen a lot more of Baltimore City than you did previously?
Yes, when I drove Uber in Towson for about 3-4 months after moving up here, I would go from the Towson Town Center to West Baltimore, from West Baltimore to East Baltimore, from East Baltimore to Camden, from Camden to M&T Bank Stadium, from M&T Bank Stadium to places that nobody wants to go, and from the places that nobody wants to go back to civilization. I've been all over Baltimore. Do I remember most of those trips? No. They were between like 11 o'clock at night and 1:30 when the bars were still open. But driving around during the day in Baltimore, when I would do it on weekends when I was off, I would go out of town. I would go from Baltimore to BWI Airport, or from Towson to downtown Annapolis, or from Towson to just the north of the Pennsylvania border, and drop people off up there. So it just depended on where people needed to go. But a lot of the people in the Towson area primarily stayed in the Towson area.